Hello, Level 6 students. This video is part of your writing workshops. This is the second video on how to create a perfect persuasive essay. Before we start, please put your cell phones aside. Maybe we can use it to take some photos from charts and have your notebook ready so you can take notes about the video. In this video, you will find a review from the first three paragraphs, the structure of the counter-argumentative and conclusion paragraphs. You will find a chart of connectors, and you have to work on some activities at the end of this video. Do you remember the outline at the beginning of the semester that you where you organize all your ideas? Well, in our persuasive essay, if you remember, we have to write 5 paragraphs. So we have the introduction, the body paragraphs that has the first argumentative paragraph, the second argumentative paragraph, we have the counter-argument paragraph, and then we have the conclusion. We have already worked on the introduction, on the first argument, and on the second argument. If you remember, in one of the week of a virtual savannah, you uploaded a photo of your outline, or maybe you have it in your in a folder. Remember that in the introduction you state your position, you give the information of the topic. Also, you provided 2 arguments to support your position. Today, you are going to understand the elements of the counter-argumentative paragraph and the conclusion. So, the main focus from the first term was to write a perfect introduction that you include hook, background, thesis, as I said before, your position. Then you wrote the second paragraph that was the first argument with some details like examples or facts. The second argument, you include supporting sentences. Also, you include details, examples, or. Today, you're going to learn about the elements of the counter-argumentative paragraph and the conclusion. Here in the counter-argumentative paragraph, you have to include an opposing view. You have to refute this argument, give details, and in the conclusion, you have to restate the thesis, include a summary, and include a call for action. So let's review. Here we have an example of the introduction. As you may see, we are going to concentrate on reviewing the 3 elements of it. You always start with a hook, which is it includes a question and a sentence. Then you have to write the background, and finally the topic sentence. Here in the topic sentence, if you read, it's state a position. For example, we have all students should wear mandatory uniforms in school to improve their results there. As you see, here is a clear position on the topic that we should wear, that we have to wear uniforms in school. Okay, here you have examples of the argumentative paragraphs. There are some sentences that are highlighted with different colors. The first one that it's in purple, if you remember, those sentences are topic sentences. In those topic sentences, you need to include connectors, listing connectors, for example, in the first place or second. Those sentences establish or inform the reader the first and second arguments to support your position. Then, the sentences that are in black informs the reader like supporting sentences or inform or help to support your argument using examples or details or facts. Finally, you have a sentence called closing sentence. Of course, you need to include a connector. For example, hence and therefore. With these connectors, you are helping the reader to understand or to summarize, to try to understand the main idea or to give a summary of your first and second arguments. So, today you will learn about the counter-argumentative paragraph. In this example, please, you will find some elements that I'm going to describe later. So please have a look at it. Read it carefully. Okay, so I'm going to break the counter-argumentative paragraph apart. In this paragraph, the part that it's in purple, you will identify the first or the clear topic sentence. In this case, you have to mention the opponent's view. That's why you have to include this connector that it's on the other hand. It says opponent of mandatory uniforms said that students who wear school uniforms cannot express their individuality. Okay. The second part of the counter-argument is to include a refutation. You are going to say, no, you are wrong. Here we have, however, as stated previously, schools is a place to learn, not to show fashion. So here is like giving your opinion or defending yourself from the opponents. Then you have to write details or give an explanation of your refutation, which is the part that it's in blue. It says, for that reason, expressing individualism through clothing should not be more valuable than having a better educational performance. It's important to remember that school uniforms will be worn only during school hours. Finally, the last element, the part that it's, let's have a look at it, that's in green. It's a closing sentence. As I said before, you have to give a summary of your paragraph. Now, the concluding paragraph or conclusion, here is an example of it. Please have a look at it and read it carefully. Think about the elements that we mentioned at the beginning of the video. Which elements are here? Now, let's break this paragraph apart. As I said before, the conclusion finished with a restatement of a thesis of your position. You need to start with a connector. That's why we use here in conclusion. There are many benefits of implementing mandatory school uniforms for students. Then the second element is to summarize the two arguments. As you see, we don't have to spend time on deciding what to wear. This is the first argument. Then you have to include another connector that is to include more information and act more responsibly when they wear uniforms. So here, the second sentence of your conclusion states the summary of the two arguments. Finally, we have the call for action. Here you have to invite the reader to follow some steps to change people's point of view. As you may see, it says teachers and parents should get together in order to show students the benefits of using school uniforms by doing something. Here we have designing flyers and offering short presentations. Here it's important to describe how you're going to invite readers and to follow your position, to understand your point of view. Okay, let's take a look at the full of list of connectors. The first category that is to add a list, it's in red because those connectors we use them at the beginning of the semester to state the first and second arguments. The other three categories, those are the categories that we will use to write the two paragraphs that are missing. So when you are including opposing views, you can use on the other hand, however, apart from this and not less. When you want to include reasons and examples, please use for example, such as, in other words, for instance, because and since. And for closing sentences in your counter argument, you may use to sum up, therefore, or things considered, taking everything into account. You can use also this list of connectors for your conclusion. When you want to state examples, you want to restate the thesis, and of course the call for action. Okay, so in class you will have the time to work on yours and on your paragraphs. So it's time to give it a try. Please have your notes ready about this video. Remember that based on this video you have to work on some activities proposed in this CPS. You need to download a document that is in this session of the CPS and work on the activity that is proposed there. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.